Before we get into today's edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. More nominations to Trump 2.0 were announced yesterday. We have some updates for you. Looking for a job? The Department of Government Efficiency, which President-elect Trump put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of, announced yesterday that it's opening up for hiring. You need a new job? They're looking for candidates. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE officers, are set to return to active field operations after years of being restricted to desk duties. This is part of the new enforcement actions by Trump 2.0. And The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg is claiming she was discriminated against by a well-known Staten Island bakery when ordering Charlotte Russe desserts for her 69th birthday celebration because of her political views. Hey, Whoopi, welcome to our world.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but you know they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Two notable nominations yesterday. Former Congressman Doug Collins will lead the Department of Veterans Affairs, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was nominated to lead Health and Human Services. Let's start with Doug Collins, a former congressman and close ally to President Trump. He was tapped to lead the Department of Veterans Affairs. Collins is a Navy veteran, Air Force Reserve chaplain, represented northern Georgia for 8 years before stepping down from Congress in 2020. He's known for his staunch support of Donald Trump. Collins played a key role in challenging the 2020 election results and served on the defense team during Trump's first impeachment trial. In a statement, Trump emphasized the importance of taking care of America's veterans, saying, "Doug will be a great advocate for our active duty service members, veterans, and military families to ensure they have the support they need." Collins, who has previously served on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, responded on social media, expressing his gratitude and commitment to the role, saying, "I'm honored to accept the nomination. Our heroes deserve the best care and support." As VA Secretary, Collins plans to streamline operations, cut through the red tape, and root out corruption within the department. He has been a vocal critic of the VA's past inefficiencies, advocating for comprehensive reforms to better serve the nation's veterans. And, you know, this is sort of a theme of Trump 2.0, because you've got this new agency that Trump has created that he's putting Musk and Ramaswamy in charge of, and their big goal is to eliminate inefficiencies in government, which we know is there. And that's exactly what Doug Collins is being tasked to do as well in the VA. There's horror stories that we hear all the time of money just thrown away rather than going to the direct benefit of our veterans. The Department of Veterans Affairs has over 370,000 employees. It's one of the largest federal agencies, providing a range of health care and support services to millions of U.S. veterans. Collins' appointment signals Trump's focus on delivering improved services and improved benefits to the veterans. Veterans and all public servants, first responders, have always been special to Donald Trump. This appointment and the task that he's giving former Representative Collins aligns with his broader agenda of government reform and accountability. And that's all we're asking. That's all the American people is asking, is that our government is the best it can be. And that we don't hear about these things about the government paying $1,000 for an ashtray, that type of thing. This nomination marks a new chapter for Doug Collins. He was previously turned down an offer from Trump to serve as Director of National Intelligence. Now, as he steps into what is a real critical role, all eyes will be on the former congressman to see how he tackles this long-standing challenge of facing the VA. Because, you know, I've heard from a lot of veterans that there's just inefficiencies there and that they don't respond. And we got to get better. We got to help our veterans, and I think Doug Collins will do that. Also, Trump nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services, a surprising choice, kind of, given Kennedy's reputation as a vocal critic of vaccines and public health agencies, and the fact that he's not trained in medicine, not a doctor. The decision marks a bold vision, though, a somewhat controversial one as well, by Trump, who has promised to, quote, let RFK Jr. go wild in tackling what he calls the chronic disease epidemic in the U.S. Kennedy's 70 years old. He has a history of challenging conventional public health policies, often questioning vaccine safety, government health standards. In his nomination announcement, Trump praised Kennedy's commitment to addressing corruption within the FDA, the NIH, Dr. Fauci's old agency, and the USDA, stating that he would bring back gold standard scientific research and tackle the influence of pharmaceutical companies and the industrial food complex. Again, just another example of appointing someone who has a record of sniffing out inefficiencies and sniffing out things that our federal government should not be involved in. Despite his skepticism towards vaccines, Kennedy assured the public that he would not revoke vaccine access, but emphasized the importance of informed choices and the rigorous scientific safety studies that need to be done. He said, if vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. This was in a recent interview advocating for transparency in public health. Kennedy's nomination is expected to face hurdles in the Senate. There's senators on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, who aren't too fond of the idea of having RFK in Trump's cabinet, and particularly in this role. One Republican senator noted that Kennedy's confirmation prospects are as uncertain as his own stance on vaccines. The possibility of a recess appointment of Trump could lead Senate Republicans to extend their session to block such a move, which, by the way, I received a text message asking, what is a recess appointment? A recess appointment is sort of a temporary job given by the president when the Senate isn't around to vote on it right away. I once heard this or read this simplification as if it were being explained to a fifth grader. Imagine that the president of the United States is like the principal of a big school, and there are many teachers, government officials, that help run the school smoothly. Normally, the principal needs the school board, which is like the Senate, to approve new teachers before they start working. But what happens if the school board is on vacation or in recess, and the principal needs a teacher right away to help with an important job? In that case, the principal can say, okay, I'll appoint this teacher temporarily until the school board comes back. This is called a recess appointment. It lets the president choose someone to fill a job temporarily while the Senate or the school board is on break. Once the Senate comes back, they get to decide if the person can stay in the job permanently or not. So that's sort of the explanation of a recess appointment. Assuming Kennedy is confirmed, he would oversee a $1.7 trillion budget and an array of HHS sub-agencies involved in public health, biodefense, and healthcare services. His appointment signals a pretty radical departure from traditional health leadership, and this is what some of the Democrats and some of the federal bureaucrats are concerned about, because he will introduce brand new ways to look at things, new ways to operate. And, you know, bureaucrats always hate change. They don't like their little shops they don't like people coming in and upsetting their shop. Kennedy's political history includes a brief presidential run this year, of course, where he first ran as a Democrat, then he switched to as an independent candidate before he finally endorsed President Trump. The nomination, like the nomination of Matt Gaetz, is already creating waves as Trump appears to bet on Kennedy's outsider status. And again, just his different way of doing things. Nothing bad about doing things differently, though. Things are already heating up on the confirmation of Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Former Congressman Gaetz is under renewed scrutiny after a witness in the House Ethics Committee investigation alleged that Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17. This according to a report from ABC News and other media. The woman, who's now in her 20s, reportedly testified under subpoena, recounting that the encounter occurred when she was still in high school. Gaetz, supposedly, who has consistently denied all allegations of misconduct, labeled the claim as a false testimony and a smear, citing that a 3-year-old DOJ investigation had previously concluded without charges against him. The allegations were initially raised in a criminal investigation involving Gaetz' former associate, Joel Greenberg, who is a former Florida tax official and who pled guilty to several charges, including sex trafficking of a minor. Greenberg admitted to recruiting women for paid sex acts, including at least one underage girl who he claimed represented herself as an adult. During the Ethics Committee probe, Gaetz' former girlfriend also provided a sworn statement alleging that both drugs and the underage girl were present at a party in 2017 that Matt Gaetz attended. This is just this is an example of what they're going to throw at Matt Gaetz. Get ready for it. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. This year, I really thought I was going to have to boycott the holidays. I was going to lock myself away and not come out until 2025. But after finding PhD Weight Loss, you can bet I'll be at every holiday party I'm invited to. That's because PhD Weight Loss helped me take control with great confidence, support, and my new healthy body. The best part? PhD Weight Loss did it all without harmful drugs that keep you dependent on them to maintain your weight loss. It's a natural, medication-free approach to weight loss crafted to naturally diminish food-related thoughts, hunger, and cravings, making your weight loss journey more sustainable and enjoyable. Take it from me, I lost 33 pounds. The PhD Weight Loss Program teaches you not just what to eat and when, but also how to think differently about food and finally let go of those cravings and get rid of the hunger naturally. Don't lock yourself away this holiday season. Call PhD Weight Loss today at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900, or go to myphdweightloss.com. On our guest line, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. It's like a whirlwind, isn't it? Like every day we have new appointments. We got to stay up on cycles. Like you said, if you take a nap or go to sleep at all, it's like you don't know what's happened.
Yeah, you just miss a whole lot because it's like a whirlwind, something new every day, which, I guess that's a good thing. I don't remember it being at this pace in 2016. And in fact, I did a little research on that, and he is far ahead of his pace compared to 2016. But, he's had more time to think about this. So let's just kind of go down the list. Now, I know that you are that you're very happy with Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. We kind of talked about that before, but I mean, she's just going to be a great gatekeeper, and I think kind of keep him on track.
Susie did a masterful job during the election of really figuring out what the American people wanted to hear, making sure the president knew, because when you get into office, I can only imagine there are things as lieutenant governor, you get a staff around you, and I have a very small staff compared to the president, obviously, or even the governor, but, people kind of communicate with them. And sometimes, unless you're really out there and in the mix, you could easily miss things. And Susie has done a great job of always, I feel like, conveying to the president, everything she hears, big things that are relevant to make sure he's addressing the needs and the concerns that people are talking about every day. She's done great. So happy she sits in that chief of staff position. I think as elected leaders, it is so vital that, we don't have somebody weeding out noise or things that are important to us that they may not realize and they're not telling us. I think that's really important to have somebody who understands how important that is.
Yeah, and she is a take no prisoners type of person. I mean, she keeps things on track, as I said, and I think she'll do a great job at that. That position in his first administration, I forget how many people actually served in that position. I mean, We did a radio day up there back early on in the administration, and again I don't remember the names because there were several chief of staffs, but I remember one day there was one, and the next there was another. And
well, I think it comes. President Trump now exactly knows what he needs. He knows what he's walking into, the lion's den, and he knows who's going to be able to fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this is moving so fast, in my opinion, is that he just kind of knows the temperament of the person. I just saw an article really quick. I wake up, I'm like you, I searched through to see what happened while I slept. When you look at the ages of the people he's putting in office, these are young people with fresh ideas. And I hope our young Republicans and independents who are young, who think like their voice isn't heard out there. I mean, the average age is 39 to 40 years old right now of who he's picking for his cabinet place.
Yeah. Well, he's picked some good ones. I'll tell you the one I'm most excited about, and that is Tom Homan to be the border czar. And you know how the vice president has kind of run from that description. She doesn't want to be the border czar. She has argued, I'm not the border czar. He embraces that. He wants to be the border czar.
You talk about a guy, and now he doesn't fall in that, 39, 40-year-old age group, but I think he's got probably one of the hardest jobs.
Yep.
That is the number one issue among all Americans. It is our fear of this open border and this open border policies. So he has got a rough job, but this is a seasoned guy.
Yep.
He's a no holds bar. He tells it like he sees it. It is a issue that cannot be sugar-coated. And I believe he's going to do a great job. And he's going to do a great job, Joey, because the liberals are scared to death.
Yep.
And now they're making stuff up. Like the guy's not, if grandma has been here for 20 years, they're making it seem like he's going to run in, pull the apron off of her and drag her personally across the border.
Yep.
I mean, first and foremost, I think you've heard him say, well, he's got a lot of fish to fry. We have a lot of criminals in this country that Biden and Harris have let in, and that, first and foremost, is who he's looking at, getting out of here as quick as he can.
Yep. All right. What about Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee?
So wonderful. I have gotten to meet former Governor Huckabee. I think the world of his daughter, Sarah Huckabee. I've gotten to know her well. And what a great family. Former Governor Huckabee. You got to say former governor when you say that, because now we have two Huckabee governors, right?
That's true.
But he is, so passionate about his Christian faith, very supportive of Israel. I think he's going to do a great job because he understands the turmoil that's going on over there. So I think a great man of compassion. I think he's going to make an amazing ambassador.
Yep. On our guest line today, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott. All right, Ambassador to the United Nations, Representative Elise Stefanik.
So I was up in D.C. when I was receiving an award up there recently, and I went to a Women for Trump event I was invited to, and she was there. Very impressive, really good, hard-nosed, understands the issues. I think she is going to go there and stand up, for our rights and be a leader when it comes to standing beside Israel. She's tough, and she's fair, and she's articulate. She's going to make America proud.
Yep. Another female addition to his team, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, you talk about a wide tent. Joey, you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. It's something the president called for at the RNC, is unity and a big tent. And man, he has done that, right? He's brought in Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat, turned independent. Once she got a taste of just what we were about as Republicans and what we want to make this country great again, she kind of came over to us.
Yep.
And now, has completely changed parties. She's military service is in her blood. I think she's going to do a great job making sure she keeps our men and women in uniform safe, right?
Yep.
And not getting them involved in wars and conflicts that are going to put, I'm a mom first and foremost. I want peace through strength, Joey.
Yep.
That is what I've always talked about, is we need peace through strength. I think I will clue you in saying peace. I won't be with you next week, Joey. I will be in Rome. I will be speaking on behalf of Christian women on peace to the Pope.
Oh,
And
wow.
why peace through strength is what I'll be talking about, and that's what President Trump brings to the table is peace through strength. I feel very passionately about the fact as long as we have humans here on Earth, it's going to be very hard to obtain peace, and that's why we need strong leaders, and that will be the topic of what I talk about, is why we need strong leaders like President Trump in the world.
Well, that is wonderful. Very exciting. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott, be safe in traveling, and we'll look forward to catching up the following week, and we'll look forward to hearing all about it.
Thanks so much, Joey. God bless.
Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Firmin Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Firmin Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Firmin Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Firmin, Matthew Firmin. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Firmin Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Firmin Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Firmin Ford online at firminford.com, firminford.com. We can't get Donald Trump in there fast enough. More store closings announced yesterday. This time, Advance Auto Parts is closing more than 700 locations by mid-2025 as part of a plan to improve their business performance. The closures include more than 500 corporate-owned stores, 200 independent locations, and 4 distribution centers. The company did not disclose which specific locations will be closing yet. Advance Auto Parts is currently the 4th largest U.S. auto parts chain and joins a growing number of companies who have recently announced closing stores all around the country. The Department of Government Efficiency, which President-elect Trump put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of, announced yesterday that it's hiring. It's opening up hiring to interested candidates. The agency wrote in a post on the Musk-owned X that those who want to work on cost-cutting push should send their resumes via direct message on X. To send a direct message now, you have to understand you have to be verified, which means you're paying $8 a month for the premium service and an X subscription. In the post, they said, "We are very grateful to the thousands of Americans who have expressed interest in helping us at the Department of Government Efficiency. We don't need more part-time idea generators. We need super high IQ small government revolutionaries willing to work 80-plus hours per week on unglamorous cost cutting." They wrote, "If it's you, DM this account with your CV. Elon and Vivek will review the top 1% of applicants." In response to an ex-user who observed the unbridled enthusiasm of wanting to be part of something profound historical significance that will require a monumental amount of tedious, super high-quality work, Musk noted that his new agency won't be paid for their efforts to cut spending and streamline government. They're looking for volunteers. Look, there are a lot of people out there. There's probably a lot of retired executives who have done this type of cost cutting, who have gone into companies in their career and evaluated how the company is being run and decided what could be cut out. Those are the type of people they're looking for. Musk remarked, "Indeed, this will be a tedious work, make lots of enemies, and compensation is zero. What a great deal." Ramaswamy, founder of Rovient Sciences, said in a Thursday post on X also, "If it doesn't advance the interests of American citizens, we're putting it on the chopping block." Amazingly, there are a number of programs whose authorization from Congress has already expired, yet money still flows out the door. That needs to end next year. Now, I love what these two guys the enthusiasm they have, and I love what they're talking about. And it doesn't surprise me of what Ramaswamy is saying here, where programs that were authorized by Congress and had an expiration date, that expiration date has come and gone, but they're still there. Doesn't surprise me at all. That's how government works, unfortunately. I will be surprised, though, if they are able to accomplish this. Now, they're both smart men, so don't get me wrong. I hope they do. But when they start sniffing around in some of these federal bureaucracies, I hope they know what they're doing, because these bureaucrats, they're going to fight back with a vengeance, because nobody thinks that they're not useful, and nobody's going to want their department eliminated. So there's going to be some fights there. President Trump on Tuesday announced, of course, that Musk and Ramaswamy will lead this new agency. He said to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agency. That's the task the president has given them. It will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time, Trump said. He went on to say Republican politicians have dreamed about the objectives of the Department of Government Efficiency for a long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside of government and will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale structural reform and create an entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before. And that's what scares bureaucrats when you talk about an entrepreneurial approach. That scares them to death. But hey, they got a mandate. The American people spoke very loud. The American people said to Trump, we don't like our government and the direction it's headed. Change it. And we're behind you. Let's hope that Musk and Ramaswamy don't get discouraged when they get into the thick of the battle. As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office, some other good news coming out this time of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. They're set to return to active field operations after sitting at desks for years. Trump's choice for border czar, Tom Homan, has announced plans to dramatically ramp up enforcement, vowing to deploy ICE agents en masse, particularly targeting sanctuary cities. He said that he's going to shift the focus to the streets. Under the Biden administration, an estimated 60 to 70% of ICE's law enforcement personnel will reassign to office duties. Biden and Harris literally took them off of the street from doing their jobs. Now, see, this is another example of how government works. Biden and Harris did not want them out in the field enforcing our immigration laws, but they also didn't want to fire them. They didn't want to cut the personnel in this agency. So what do? They keep paying them and put them at a desk. ICE sources claim that many officers are eager to return to the field, anticipating a more active role in arresting undocumented immigrants who have settled in the U.S. These men and women who have these jobs, for the most part, when they applied for them and they were hired, they wanted to enforce our immigration laws. They wanted to protect our border. They wanted to see that illegals were returned to the country they came from. ICE's entire workforce comprises about 21,000 employees, including administrative personnel, but a significant portion of law enforcement officers could be reassigned to street operations, according to people within the agency. And look, Trump is going to be very aggressive because he knows that the American people, again, gave him a mandate to protect our borders and to clean house when it comes to these illegals over here who are breaking into our businesses, who are stealing our vehicles, who are taking advantage of our systems. They're living in free hotel rooms, eating our food while you and I are working to help pay for it. Mr. Holman's strategy reportedly includes deploying large numbers of agents to sanctuary cities like New York City to target undocumented individuals, despite concerns about depleted resources, because that's been one of the arguments. Well, we don't have the money to do this. While the rank and file at ICE seemed ready for the shift, some insiders warn that the agency's capacity, this is according to the New York Post now, that the agency's capacity may be limited by a lack of funding and personnel shortages. The Biden-Harris administration faced criticism from within ICE for allegedly underfunding the agency without formally reducing its budget, leading to vacant positions that have not been filled. And you know, this wasn't an agency that was a priority for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They didn't want them doing their job. ICE sources say that the agency will need significant reinforcements, including additional personnel and expanded detention facilities to carry out Trump's vision of mass deportation. Well, I got a feeling they're going to get those resources. I got a feeling that the Congress will make sure they have what they need. According to the Post, Holman plans to address these challenges by conducting an immediate assessment of the situation at the southern and northern borders. He intends to meet with both Border Patrol and ICE officers to understand their needs and begin implementing tougher policies. Sanctuary cities, look out. Holman has put sanctuary cities on notice, warning that his agents will be aggressive in making arrests, even if local governments refuse to cooperate, he said. If they're not, I played that for you the other day, earlier in the week, when he said, if they're not going to help, then get out of the way. He said that the anticipation of stricter immigration enforcement is already influencing immigration or migration patterns at the southern border. Some migrants, fearing the impending crackdown, are choosing to enter the U.S. before Trump's inauguration, trying to get here quickly. A Venezuelan family that recently crossed into Eagle Pass, Texas, expressed concerns about the risks they face, noting that they fear deportation under the new administration's tougher policies. Well, they should fear it. They should have turned around and gone back and tried to do this the right way. Trump's incoming administration faces a challenge. Look, it's not going to be easy to administer the largest deportation in our country's history. But if anybody can do it, I'm going to bet on Donald Trump. They're going to have to immediately restore ICE to its full operational strength. They're going to have to let these men and women, these ICE agents, do their job. Again, don't handcuff them to a desk like they have been for the last 4 years. The focus on mass deportations and aggressive enforcement is going to require more funding. We know that. Trump's decision, I think, to bring Holman back. Holman is known as a hardliner. I think that was just a message by Trump that he's going to reverse the Biden-era immigration policies, and it signals a return to a more confrontational approach on immigration enforcement and the fact that there is going to be immigration enforcement. They're not going to look the other way. If you're here illegally, as Holman said in one of his earlier interviews, you should be nervous. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Whether you're replacing a broken appliance or maybe you're just upgrading, you're totally remodeling the kitchen, when it's time to get those new appliances, when you're ready for them, you don't want to have to wait weeks or even months to get started using them, right? Well, that's not the case when you shop with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse. With over 11,000 square feet and 1,500 appliances at any given time, you can buy today and use today quite often. I'm talking about shopping with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse in Pickens. It's worth the short drive over to Pickens. Jeff, Johnny, Kyle, the whole team over there, they'll take good care of you. They have an award-winning service department, expert installation, extended warranties, and at Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they treat you like family. You're more than just a credit card swipe to all the team over there. Discounted Appliance Warehouse are proud to offer Speed Queen, the only washer and dryers with manufacturer's warranties that cover parts and labor. You owe it to yourself, if you're looking for a new appliance, to head over to Pickens to Discounted Appliance Warehouse online at dawpickens.com, dawpickens.com. Have you heard the story about poor old Whoopi Goldberg being discriminated against when she went to a bakery to buy some baked goods, supposedly, according to her, because she's a liberal? We'll get that in just a minute. First off, let's get called up on our text line. Ray writes, Joey, one more note on Matt Gaetz. Do you remember Herman Cain, Clarence Thomas, and Donald Trump? All were falsely accused of sexual misconduct. It's the only way the Democrats can attack and remember these people are terrified, and a lot of Republicans are just as guilty. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Thank you, Ray. Texter says, Joey, it appears measles is on the rise. Imagine that. Can't begin to understand where they're coming from. Our American children are vaccinated. Sure hope Trump is able to give the we the people our country back soon. Well, you know, I imagine that RFK Jr., that's one of the things he's going to be looking at, are these vaccines. Ginger says, I can't find any updates on Dennis Prager since Prager used statement yesterday. Do you have anything you can share? Well, all I can ask you is to pray for my friend and colleague, Dennis Prager. If you haven't heard, Dennis Prager, longtime host for the Salem Radio Network, of course, the founder of PragerU, he slipped and fell in his home on Tuesday and was injured very badly. Dennis is having a very tough time. I can't stress that too much. He is in very bad shape. So we have to pray for a full healing, full recovery for our friend Dennis Prager. Thank you, Ginger, for asking. Albert says, we trusted President Trump enough to put him in office. Why are we second-guessing his nominee? Support him. A good point, Albert. And that's kind of what Lindsey Graham said when questioned yesterday. At one point, it was reported that Lindsey Graham was a little disappointed in the appointment of Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. There was an initial report that Lindsey Graham was saying it's going to be hard to get him through the Senate. Graham yesterday, though, said, look, I support President Trump. If this is who President Trump wants, then that's who we're going to support. Now, I paraphrase that. But Albert's right. We elected Donald Trump, so let's give him the team he wants. In order for him to do the things that he told us he would do and the things that we elected him to do, let's give him the team he wants to accomplish those things. And if he doesn't, then there's no excuses, right? Carol says, good morning, Joey. Happy belated 1 year of your podcast, Just the Truth. It is definitely a success. God bless you, your family, and your team. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was, I started Just the Truth podcast a year ago. Good memory there, Carol. It was the end of October, and we have built a nice community. If you haven't subscribed yet to Just the Truth, just go to wherever you listen to podcasts or on the Odyssey app. Search for Joey Hudson, Just the Truth. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe so that you join our community every single day. Dan in Greenville says, please stop. I will pay a fee to never, ever play the press secretary's voice again. All right, Dan, I heard you. How much are you going to pay me? Look, the good news is, Dan, Corinne Jean-Pierre is on her way out. Mr. Thomas in Morganton says, I am fine with Matt Gaetz. A says, Joey, I'm not really understanding why President Trump would make such a controversial character Attorney General. I guess he realizes that this will bring a lot of negative response. Will Matt Gaetz continue to be investigated? This guy has a lot of junk going on. The accusations of underage sexual conduct should be enough to fire him. I'm really not understanding President Trump's thinking on this. Well, first off, it is allegations, and Matt Gaetz has denied them. And as far as, and by the way, he was cleared of criminal conduct. There was never any criminal charges brought against him after this investigation. What we're hearing about now, of course, is the ongoing House Ethics Committee. That's a political thing. And with his resignation from Congress, that goes away. It's gone because the House Ethics Committee no longer has any jurisdiction over Matt Gaetz. Chris writes, I definitely think Biden voted for Trump. I do too, Chris. I think Jill Biden and Joe Biden, she dressed up in her red MAGA suit and went on Election Day and voted for Donald Trump. I believe that as well. We may read about it someday in memoirs. Tony says, Joey, why would Gaetz resign before being confirmed from the Senate? I mean, it's a good choice, but I do classify him as a whiner. I've had several people say that you think Matt Gaetz is a whiner. Why is that? Text me, email me, explain that to me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Or you can leave me a message on the MyPillow message line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Always use promo code Joey when you go to mypillow.com and get the very best possible deal on all the great products that you'll find at mypillow.com, especially the extended deal that Mike Lindell has on the standard MyPillow. Typically, it's $49.98. When you use promo code Joey, all you have to do is throw my name around. Just use promo code Joey when you check out, and that $49.98 is going to turn to $14.98 for the standard MyPillow. There's a limit of 10 at this price, so go ahead and order the 10 and give them away for Christmas gifts. You can call, too, 800-893-4059 to place your order, or directly on MyPillow.com. While you're there, check out the 6-piece kitchen or bath towel set for only $25, again, with promo code Joey. The brand new mattress topper as low as $69.98, and their famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25. So much more, and they have extended their refund, 100% refund if you're not happy, until March of next year. MyPillow.com, promo code Joey. Texter says, good morning, Joey. I think Matt is a great choice for Attorney General, and his confirmation will also let the American people and Trump know who he can trust in the Congress to back his agenda. Good point. Good point, because we will know who is loyal to Trump during this process, won't we? Texter, good morning, Joey. Pertaining to Gaetz' appointment, it doesn't matter who the president chooses. There will always be butthurt Republicans. You can't please everyone. They need to put their egos aside and work together to get this nation back on track. Amen, brother or sister. You're right. Texter, Joey, now that we control the House, Senate, and presidency, will we still have problems pushing Trump's agenda now that John Thune is Senate Majority Leader? No, look, John Thune is just a part of that, and he's a major part of it. But you're going to have people in the U.S. Senate who are going to push John Thune to make sure that Trump's agenda is taken care of. Because I think John Thune, like some of the other, like Mitch McConnell and others, they got the message loud and clear of what the American people want. Texter, this is John, says, Joey, you cannot tell me that 10 million people less voted in 24 than in 2020. Without a doubt, they cheated. Thanks for what you do. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate you listening. Your comments are always welcome on the text line. You can email me, joey@joeyhudson.com as well. All right, so Whoopi Goldberg is whining a bit because she claims that she faced a political snub from a well-known Staten Island bakery when she was ordering Charlotte Russe desserts for her 69th birthday. Goldberg, of course, is a known liberal. She refused to mention President-elect Trump by name, suggested that the bakery's refusal was not about business logistics, but instead motivated by her political stance. The bakery's owner, Jim Holterman of the family-owned Holterman Bakery, refuted these claims, saying that it was purely mechanical, and I don't really know what the issue was, but she claims that it was an ongoing issue with some type of boiler system and that it had nothing to do with the fact that Whoopi Goldberg is a flaming liberal. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.